As I gaze at my wedding dress, which is now classified in the vintage category, it brings back thoughts of how special a wedding is to a couple. Virtually, from the moment the bride-to-be accepts the proposal, her mind starts turning. She pictures the food table, the wedding dresses, photographs, and oh yes, flowers! Oh my goodness, there are bouquets, there are boutonnieres, floral centerpieces, and more. So where does she turn? She turns to a YouTube tutorial to help her out of this fix. She must get everything completed by the wedding date, and it must be perfect. All right, folks, let's get started on this less than $15 centerpiece. I am sort of focusing on a wedding type centerpiece, but you could actually use this for any type of occasion. And it is inexpensive, but beautiful. So let's get started. First thing I want to do is tell you a little bit about what you will need. You will need a butterfly, possibly. You might not even want a butterfly on yours, but I found these at the Dollar Tree. On one of the arrangements that you saw at the beginning of this was it had a white butterfly, and I also got those. I think there were two on a card for $1. The next thing you'll need, next thing I do is put in the hydrangeas. Again, these came from the Dollar Tree. And I used to think, oh, I don't want to use Dollar Tree merchandise. It's not of a good quality. But what I have found, it is very nice quality, and the price is just unbeatable. We will be using pink roses, white roses. I think it's 8 of each, and there are 6 on each stem in each bush. And I think we use one complete bush and a couple of others. This, I really don't even know how to pronounce it. It's Alstroemeria, whatever, I don't know, but we'll use at least all 4 of these. I used, and I don't know what this is either. These hang down, give it a little more depth. The ribbon, I may have gotten that. I think I got that at Trees and Trends. It was 1.5 inches wide. I think 24 feet came on a roll. And we used 3 strips of 18 inches each. So we only used like a 1.5 yards to 2 yards of the ribbon. Then we used pearls. I used pearls. You can use those or not. This came from Hobby Lobby, $2.99. So you get it. You may have to go ahead and pay the complete $2.99 on these. Many times the pearls are not on sale. They're considered in the wedding department. But you get 8 yards, so you get plenty of ribbon. You can do several arrangements with that ribbon. Then this is just called a greenery bouquet. Greenery bouquet. Use all of one, part of another. Each were $1. And then I used eucalyptus. Now, for the arrangement that you saw in the beginning that had eucalyptus in it, I had bought a couple of eucalyptus stems. I splurged and spent $2.99 on each one. And what I did for this eucalyptus, I bought a garland of eucalyptus, It was $19.99 at Hobby Lobby, and I got it for $10, half price. And there would be enough, I counted, to have at least 15 little bunches out of $10 worth of eucalyptus. And I had paid $3 each for one this size, and so I spent $6, and all I got out of that were 2 little stems. So this definitely was more economical to get the garland. Next, I did talk about the pearls. I cut 6 strips of pearls that are each 8 inches long. We will use those in a little bit. And I tell you what, I just can't believe I found this. I don't remember where I found it. It may have been Walmart, I'm not sure. But I saw this and look at this. This was a necklace. Look what you could do. You could just glue that on there and have the most beautiful bling on your vase. You could glue it on just about any kind of vase. Another thing I bought, I didn't use this, but definitely could. You might want this bling on your arrangement. This was $1. It is self-adhesive, so all you have to do is cut a few strips if you want to. You could maybe wrap, you might want to wrap it in the middle or down toward the bottom. Do whatever you'd like. I would suggest using a little extra glue on that also. Don't depend on just the adhesive that comes on it. I got these for $1 each. I only paid $1 for the other 2 arrangements you saw. No, I'll take that back. The larger arrangement, I spent $3.97 on the vase. It was from Walmart. So these were each $1. Now what I'm planning on doing after I get the arrangement finished, I will probably turn this smaller one upside down and use my E6000 glue. This is great stuff right here. Use this, but since it has to cure for quite a while, preferably overnight, I'm not going to glue those together just now. Now you could use hot glue, but you will get a better result, more long-lasting result with the E6000. The next very important thing, I think I'm going to make it in this vase. I will probably glue that on later. But let me talk about the styrofoam that you might want to use. I found that, especially if you're using artificial, doesn't matter if artificial or real or fresh, if you will put some styrofoam on top of that, you will have quite a bit of an area to stick all your flowers in. You can, at one time I made 21 centerpieces, and the center probably wasn't that big, the top of the vase, and I just put a big piece of styrofoam over that little vase, and I still had lots of styrofoam to work with. So here are 3 options. There are more options, I'm sure. You can get 2 pieces for $1 at the dollar store, and these are just like short little cylinders. They're probably, I don't even know if they're an inch. No, they're 3/4 of an inch tall. That would work if you wanted to use that. You could use one or both. Probably both would be more sturdy. Another measurement, we have a 2.9 by 3.9 by 3.9. So this is a cube. Again, that will fit on the bottom or on the top. If you look you know, there's not too much room left around it, but it will work. But what I chose to use, I felt like I got good surface area with this. Now let me tell you what I did. I took this vase, I turned it upside down, I took a pencil and traced around. I tried to leave, when I put this on here, I tried to leave as the same amount on the edge. Now let me show you what I did. I left a little bit of it. You can do this with just a regular box cutter. I happen to have this. And I went around where the pencil was, cut it out, and then I go around inside like this. I've already done the rest of it. I left this little spot to show you. Just cut it, you know, be sure it's cut here. You want to be careful because this is very thin. So I just went inside and sort of scoop out the styrofoam that I cut. And as long as I have like a little gutter to for my vase to fit on, then I can put it on here and just sort of mash. And I did the entire arrangement with this not even glued, because I thought, well, what if something happens, I need to redo the styrofoam, or you know, something happens, I need to take that off. And guess what? I did need to take it off, because I'm going to put these beads inside. They are going to have to be attached here. So this holds well enough to do your entire arrangement. So the first thing that I want to do is, of course, you need hot glue. You might even need some of these picks. Most everything else I think I've talked about. Wire cutters are always something you want to have handy. Scissors, you know, just your normal, regular, everyday tools, crafting tools. So let's get started here. I'm going to put my pearls. I think I got a little styrofoam down in here. But again, because I can take it off, I can clean that later. So here's what I want to do. I want to take the floral pins that I didn't mention and attach. I chose to do 6. No certain reason for that, but I skip over 3 beads, and then I use the pick between the 3rd and 4th bead. I try to, and I mashed it as far as I could so that it will hang. So see what I'm getting to? Then if I don't like the little, the way it sort of has a little bit of extra, I like that, but if you don't, so you can still take it off, cut a couple of beads off, see how you like it. So I'm going to go around and put 6 of these around on the 3rd bead, if you can see that. And I'm just eyeballing to see. And again, you want to push that down. Now later I will go back and put a little bit of hot glue on there. So let's take another pin. This is easy so far. You could, if you really wanted to measure, you could measure this circumference and decide how far apart you want these beads, but like I said, I just eyeballed it. So there are 4. That's going pretty fast. 5. And notice, you know, I'm staying of course, away from the little gutter that we made. Here's my last one. And I have them down to the styrofoam. I think I will go ahead and show you that I'm going to put a couple of drops. It doesn't matter, no one's going to see this. So if it doesn't look too great, it really won't hurt anything. So now I've got all 6 of these stabilized. And I will give it just a few seconds to cool. And then we'll show you what it looks like. Pretty cool, pretty cool. Okay, I notice that a little bit of the pick is coming through. What I did on my other one and what I should have done is I clipped off with my wire cutters. I clipped off a little bit of the ends. I didn't do that on here. So it's not going to show. It really doesn't matter. And close your eyes when you do this. But I'm going to go ahead and clip off the little ends that came through on a couple of them. Truthfully, I do close my eyes when I am clipping little pieces of metal. But again, here you go. And like I said, you can cut these off if you think it's too, well, I got one in the glue. Okay. It's being a little stubborn. Now, there we go. So, there we go, if you like that. You know, some people even tie little knots at the end of the pearl string. You could do that. Let's say just for decorative purposes, you might want to do every other one. You might want to do all of them that way or none of them that way. But that sort of makes it cute. So, we have the inside of that finish. And remember, it will be on top of another little stand when it's completely finished. Let's start with our flowers. I'm going to start with the hydrangeas. They are such a nice flower to, they really are pretty, and they take up your space, and that's a good thing sometimes. We want something that will cover. We won't say take up space, we'll say cover. They are very good for covering. I have my wire cutters. Now I want to come out a little bit from my styrofoam. So I want to cut these. Now I left the leaves on. Let's cut it about, can you see that? A couple of inches. And you might not even, I know some people don't even glue. Some people put a pick on everything. I found that if I can do without a pick, I do. I just go ahead and glue it. I'm going to put a little glue on the stem for extra security, and I randomly put my hydrangeas in. And I'll do that on, I think I had 7 in the other one. I counted, just so I know. And try to make all of your stems about the same so that it will look uniform when you're finished. So I'm trying to get a couple of inches, 2 or 3, however much you want it to stand out from the ball of styrofoam. And again, I'll just put a little bit of glue on the stem. This is really against my nature not to put a pick. My mother was a florist. If you've watched my other video, I told you a little bit about that. She was a florist for about 20 years, just had it out of her home. I'm just putting these in randomly. And she glued and she put picks. I've got a pick machine. I've got the steel pick machine that a lot of people use, and I do like to use it some, but I just haven't. Ouch! I burned myself a little bit. But thank goodness, I only use low temp glue, which doesn't mean it won't burn, but it does mean it won't burn as much as the high temp. So I try to stay away from the high temp. So I did it again. Okay, now I might even, angle one sort of down. And remember, since these are artificial, we have a little leeway. If we want to angle something down or up or bend it, whatever, we can do that. I'll just stick that one right there. Okay, it's not uniform, but other than the distance away from the styrofoam is pretty uniform, since I cut each one 4, 5, 6. I can put one more in a. But anyway, it is uniform in one way. But so I'll try another one and just put it wherever I think it needs something. I'm going to try this, and I may angle it down a little bit. So, and they don't have to all be, it doesn't have to be just a round ball. It can be whatever you want it to be. It doesn't have to be. Now I have leftover hydrangeas that I might want to use later. The next thing I put in, and as I said, this is just my order. You put them in any order you'd like. Just the way that worked for me. But I did get all that I've used so far except for the beads. I did get at the Dollar Tree. I got the styrofoam, the half ball. It was in a half ball form, and it was $1. And I'm telling you, that is cheap, because styrofoam has just gone out of this world in price. I just can't believe a sheet of styrofoam, the green that I used to buy, was like $6.99 maybe. I don't even know if it was that much. Is now $12.99. So anytime I can get these little pieces, because you always end up cutting it down anyway, I just go ahead and buy some. So let me do the same thing here, about the same size stem I want to cut off. And I'm going to use 8 roses. This bush has, well, one had already been cut off. So far I have 5. I just need 3 more. And I thought these were the most beautiful roses that I have ever seen. Maybe not that I have ever seen, but they were beautiful. And to be from the Dollar Tree, I could not believe it. So, if you can do this for $15, I just don't see how you could do anything this pretty less than that. Maybe you can, but this is very economical, and smart people are economical. So, if you're thinking of this for your wedding or your other function, whatever that might be, you're showing you have brains. Don't spend a lot of money on you could spend $100 and probably not get anything any prettier than you can get for $15 to $40, $50. If you spend $40 or $50 on a bouquet with these kind of deals, you will have a luscious, beautiful, big bouquet. Again, I'm just sticking these wherever. I have no rhyme or reason other than I do want to make it fairly uniform around. Is that not a pretty flower? I hope my lighting's good enough for you to see. Let's see if that helps. I don't know if that helps any or not. Don't. But look at that rose. Isn't that pretty? Make sure you guys can see. Alright, that was one. And on these, it does have 5 roses. But one at least, or 2, will be the smaller, the rose bud. Not quite a bud, it is, I don't know. Anyway, it is smaller, but it's very, very pretty. I just thought it had variations of color that I thought were just so pretty. So we'll just stick this in. And I have to remember, I do have this little ledge here. I really don't want to go through that. I want to I think next I'll put something up here to sort of tell us where the middle is. Hope you guys can see what's going on here. I mean, this just fills up, and you could do the same sort of thing for the bridal bouquet or the bridesmaids bouquets. And there were all kinds of colors you could choose from when I got these. The purple was really, really pretty. I really wanted to buy purple, but I thought, well, I want to try to appeal to the most people, and maybe some people don't like purple, but it was really pretty. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 2 more, and I'll have my 8. When we don't have to limit to 8, but you know, if we need another one in a little while, we'll just put another one in. I'll put this one there. And I can put as many as I want. For this price, you don't really have to worry. Let's see, I think I'll come up here. No, I think I'll go here. And I love this styrofoam in ball shape, because when you put your flower in, you're going to get, as long as you have your stems cut, just about the same distance. And see, I just bent that down a little bit. I have some more. If I want to add more, I can surely do that. The next thing I put in were these that I don't know the name of. But anyway, they hang down. I like to give, that gives it a little, to me, gives it more depth or length, whatever you want to call it. And because it's going to be hanging sort of upside down, I want to give it a little more security, so I will put a pick on this. Now, I'm going to have a tips and tricks one of these days, and there really is a little trick to how you put these on, these picks. Okay, I thought I had my... One second. Oops. Okay. I have all kinds of this floral tape. Of course, when I need it, it's not handy. So, here we go. At the top of the pick, I will place my floral tape. I want to stretch as I go because that's what makes it adhere. I ripped it off before I got to the bottom because I don't really need that much. Now what I am going to do though, I'm going to cut this at an angle so that I have a point. I'm still going to glue. And I want to place this. I'm going to place it right in here. So that it will hang down. To see how nice it is, you can just take that, if you don't glue that down, you can just pick it up. I think I better twist it a little bit. Now, that goes down, and I chose to put 3 in. I don't really know why, but I did. So, again, I will get one of my picks. And if I had a pick machine, if I had it out, it hasn't been greased in a long time, so oiled, I mean. So I haven't used it in a while. So I want to wait till I can get it oiled. A little more green tape. And this sort of, hides all the mechanics. Tear it off. Again, I just want to cut that at an angle so it has a point. I give it a little glue. And I just sort of guesstimate as to where I want to put this next one. I think right here. And I sort of put it going in upwards. I'll be filling in more there, so it'll hide anything that is showing now. I didn't use the leaves on this. So I'll cut this one. This one is maybe a tad smaller than the other two, but not to worry. We can use our pick and see how here's my one little tip. I don't know if you can see the space. There's a little space in between the stem and the pick. When you get close to the bottom, just put it between those and wrap back up this time, upwards. Then I will clip. Oh, it doesn't really matter, but I need to put my tape on. I pull as I twist so that it will stick. I put a little dab of glue, maybe a big glob of glue, I don't know. I am going to try to get between those other two that I just put in. And there we go. It comes off every once in a while, the little styrofoam piece, but it really doesn't hurt anything. Let me see here. I'm not sure you guys can see very well. Not sure about the lighting. Okay. we go. Maybe that's a little better. So far we have this. And we're not done. We are not done. I think I'll go with, let's see, what did I lose? Okay, I'm going to go with this stuff that I cannot pronounce. But you can see what it looks like. It has a little bit of, I don't know, it's almost a plum color on the petals. Now, some of these tags do not want to come off. Let's see what I can do there. Come on, tag. They're sticky, sticky, sticky. Well, that came off, so I'll just pull it off. And you know, when they come off like that, I just put a little dab of glue just to be sure that it stays when I replace it. Like that. Nobody will ever see the glue. It'll be hidden amongst the flowers. And if you push your leaves up, actually you can use that glue to help them stay up. Now, sometimes I do take maybe an entire bush and take if they pop off, if the flower part pops off easily, I take it off and glue it just like I did on that other one. If they seem to be staying on okay, I don't do that. It's not very hard. You just put a little dab of glue on the end and stick the flower back on if it were to come off. So, let's see. Again, I put a little bit of glue. I just find a place that I like. I sort of like this area and I'm pushing up to let it hang down a little bit. To me, the more it hangs down, the more, the fuller it looks, which is always a good thing, usually anyway. All right, a little bit. I just got back from Alabama yesterday with my grandkids. I got to see my grandkids, and we went on a pontoon, and I got severely burned. I do not have any sense when it comes to the sun. I guess I just think, oh, in my old age, who really cares if I get burnt? Well, I did care that night when I went to bed. And I couldn't raise my arms because they hurt. But we had a ball. I don't swim, but I sure did have fun watching everybody else. Let's see. I really like these. Like I said, I don't know how to pronounce it, but it's ALSTROEMERIA. Whatever that is. All right, we're coming along. Okay, now here's something I did. I wanted the sticks to come out of the top. I may put a few more than this in. But the way I got my sticks, I got one of the Dollar Tree wreaths, one of the I guess you'd call them grapevine, but they're only $1. And I just sort of took it apart and let me show you what it looks like. This won't be the entire wreath, but I just sort of cut it apart. I put it in the sink of water, and then I let it soak for probably a couple of hours, at least. Or some people let it soak overnight. And then you just take it out and you cut, you can straighten it. And then I just cut my pieces, the pieces that I wanted. And it was a very inexpensive way to get the sticks, because I don't know if you've ever bought any before at a florist, but they're expensive, which seems ridiculous because they're in my yard. No, not really. We don't have that many trees. We have 8 acres. We have 2 trees. So, here we go. I'm going to stick these in the top. I'm not even going to put any glue. Just go right here. And, well, I might put a little glue. I believe it'll hold a little better. And there's really, I've been trying to avoid the middle, so I have an empty space. I don't know if you can see, but I have pretty much an empty space up there, because I knew I'd be putting in my sticks. And if they're too long, I'll just cut them off, even after I get them in. Here we go. I'll sort of curve that one out a little bit. Probably I will cut this one off. Oh, I like this one. It's a little skinny one. So I'll angle it out a little bit. I don't want to stick it down too far, because I think this one I went through the entire piece of foam. Right here. And some of the spots are a little bare. All you have to do is get a magic marker, get a brown marker, some sort of marker, and color that in, and you'll never know it. And you don't even have to do that, because it's fine to me. So there we go. There are a few little sticks. I love things like this, though, to spruce up a bouquet. And I think I'll put one more short one. I like that. I hope you guys can see it. Let me back it up a little. Can you see the sticks? Let me put this behind it so you can sort of see the sticks. I love that. Okay, then the next thing will be the white roses. Well, actually, I think I'll put the greenery in next, and then some roses. And I might even alternate. Who knows? So again, I'm going to cut my greenery about the same. But I do want to show you something on this greenery. This has 4 leaves. 2 are opposite each other on the same little stem, or whatever you want to call it. And the other 2 are on a different one, so you can put them like that instead of having 2 on top of each other. And that gives you more coverage. So I will do this. And again, I'm just going to eyeball it. I have plenty of the greenery. If I think I need more, I have plenty of flowers. So I can always add. So then when I get these in, I want to be sure that all 4 of my leaves are showing to get my coverage. And even if they're not directly across from each other. They're not going to grow that way in nature anyway, but you do get more coverage if you let all four show in some way. So I'll cut that one about the same distance, and that one, and push that up, and another one of these crazy sticky tags. And like I said, at the store, the tag says greenery bouquet. I thought it was so pretty when I saw this greenery. And one thing I liked is that it had the light colored, they're almost white veins. And I thought that sort of went with the wedding theme. You all may have all kinds of things you decorate for. I help with our country club. We decorate for our tournaments, and sometimes I help do that. But we have another girl that does that too, and she does a great job. But there's always a need for centerpieces. You could do a Christmas theme like this. And one of the next ones I want to do is a centerpiece that is long and sort of flat. I'd like to do that. But so you could, like if you have lots of tables, you could have these on some tables, and maybe you've got a large table and you might want the bigger one on it. All right, let's just see what happens here. I'm going to put a white rose in. And it looks like the top is a little bare. So, oh, that looks good. I like that. I love doing this. Now, I wouldn't want to do a whole wedding for someone. I don't mind if they said I want 10 or 20 centerpieces. That would be fine, but I don't want to have to go to a venue and have to decorate everything. I don't have that kind of equipment, and that's just not really what I'd like to do, but I love doing the flower arrangements. My mother, I think I told you, had the business. She had a business. It was just in her home. She did it for over 20 years, and she made her flower arrangements in the kitchen, usually. My dad, then he built her a shop because he said he felt like he was living in a funeral home. But she still, she would store her flowers in the shop, but she would go out and bring the flowers in that she needed to do an arrangement and do it in the kitchen. So, but at least he didn't have all the flowers in the house. But she really, truly loved it. All right, let's try greenery. And again, I want to get my 4 leaves so that they show. And, you know, I would be glad if someone commented or texted me or contacted me somehow and said, give me an idea of something you want. You know, do you want something completely different than this? And I would be glad to work on that and get a tutorial for it. I love things like that. Just give me a project. I like to have a project. But really, you'd never believe it now, but I usually do wreaths. But I guess flower arranging is what I first started doing in the way of florals. And I do enjoy that. The only thing about this, I think florals would be very hard to ship. So that's why I wanted to do a tutorial on how you could do it yourself, because you can. And it is very satisfying. Some ladies make their own dresses. That I cannot imagine. I could not do that, for sure, for sure. Oh, that one came off easily. So, here we go. Whoopsie. I think I'm gonna have to glue that one back on. I pulled on it too much. Trying to save a flower. There it goes. Let's see. Then you just have to turn it around. See maybe if you need some more draping down. See if you need some coming up higher. And we got more to put in. We do have some eucalyptus. Oh gosh, I love eucalyptus. That's one thing my dad could not stand. My mother worked with a lot of dried flowers. He could not stand the smell of eucalyptus, or any flower actually, but I loved it. Okay, I've got a couple more of these, but I think I'll wait and put the eucalyptus in. Isn't that scrumptious? It's not that old, you know, dried up kind. It is artificial, but it's I don't know, I just think it looks really nice. I will use a pick on this one because the way I had to cut it, the stems that are left are not very long. And again, you notice I'm just coming up between the stem and the pick. Just came up between it. Then I go back upwards. You really do get a better hold doing it this way. Again, I'm going to cut it at an angle. I still have to put my tape on. But when I stick it down in there, you don't even see the pick. The flowers that surround it will take care of that. Let me look at this up. I'm going to try this right down the middle. Did that add a lot to it or what? I love that. Actually, this almost looks too big. I could probably get another one out of that. Out of that sprig. Let me try these shorter ones. We'll put our pick on. You know, and you could do this stuff ahead of time. You could have your picks ready. You could do that while you're watching TV. Here I go under the stem and back up. Actually, there's another step you could do in there, but I get in too much of a hurry, I guess. I want to hurry up to see what it looks like. Cut this off a little bit. Or I could bend it down. Let me see if I can do that. No, that one doesn't want to bend. I'll just clip it. I will cut at an angle. A little glue. I mean, if this sucker comes out, it's gonna have to be a hurricane to hit it. let's try this. These eucalyptus stems have a little more on them than the ones I bought for $3. So that's pretty nice. I'm just making sure. Okay. I might not need as many in it. Look how full this is. Can you believe you could do this for 15 or under? It is amazing to me. And the like I said, just if you want to get some good bargains, and if they have the flowers you like on their garlands, that's the way to go too. Of course, I'm sure if you guys are crafters, you know that Hobby Lobby they put their stems, their floral stems, on sale every other week, and the weeks in between that they put ribbon. When they put the ribbon though, and I'm not sure everybody knows this, but when they put the ribbon on sale, of course they include mesh as a ribbon, and I use a lot of mesh because I do wreaths. But when they put the ribbon on sale, they include the mesh, and they also, I think all the time, I may be wrong on this, may just be sometimes, but they also put their bushes on sale. Then the next week they'll have their stems on sale, and the floral stems, not the bushes, but the stems. They'll have those on sale. So you can, and then at Michael's, you have your 40% off coupon every day. And if you have your phone with you and can get on the internet with it, you can get Hobby Lobby's coupon right on your phone, and they scan it right off your phone. So you don't have to have a paper coupon or anything. You just need your phone. So I'm going to try another one of these. And I hate to cut this little thing off, but I think I will. What my sister-in-law did when my niece was getting married and I was doing the 21 arrangements, she would go every day and use a 40% off coupon and buy a tall, narrow opening at the top vase. And that's what we did for her centerpieces on the tables for the guests. And so she had enough time to do that. Some people don't have that much time to plan, and they can't do things like that. But if you have time to plan, start buying things. That's the way to do it. Get the things that are on sale. Use your coupons. Okay. Where did I put my glue? Oh, right here. I bought one of these glue ropes the other day. I don't know if y'all have ever used those, but I'm going to give it a try sometime when I have a really long project. I'm going to try that. Let me see. I think I'll put one in here. And I like the white styrofoam. Of course, you can see it so well when you're trying to look in there and find something. So again, I'm going to take this off because I don't really need it. Just gives me more for next time. So if you guys have any questions or you want me to try to get another bargain deal going here, I'll try my best. If you want to give me some different colors to use, and then you can try to make your own, because you can watch the video over and over, and you can I'll be glad for you to ask me any questions in the comments. I'll be glad to try to answer, and I would be glad to help you out if I possibly can. Oh, all right, I think I'll use one more eucalyptus stem. Another pick. Maybe next time I'll have the picks all already ready for you. A lot of this stuff is, cutting your stems, even working with your styrofoam. You could do that in the evening when you're watching TV, or if you have some time in the afternoon, if you don't work. I'm retired teacher, and I thought I'd have all kinds of time, but I really don't. There's always somebody that needs something done, and I love doing it for them. Grandkids. I have to do things for them that I absolutely love. They're into, my boys that live around here, they are all into basketball. So, we go to lots of basketball games. And I'm still too chicken to do a live. I am chicken. So, we've got this much done. I'm going to put in the ribbon. Did you see the big, I think that'd be too much for this, but wouldn't it be cute on something if you had a large arrangement? These are sort of cute. I like that. I think that goes, I'll put that somewhere when I finish. All right, now this is, gets a little hair-raising sometimes. All right, what I did on this to make my little loops, I just make a loop, then I just bend it up behind the loop and make another loop. Really, you're just making two loops, and they're just one's behind the other. If you want to spread them out a different way, you can. So here's what I come up with. Let me show you. I put this down here, I roll it, but I glue first. I put some glue there. Now be careful, you could get burned on this one. I wrap that around. I'm going to put a little bit more. Ouch. Yep, I got myself. I had this this wire. And if I want to, I can just wrap that around to hold it a little bit. So I've got two loops on a pick. I'm going to just sort of fluff out my little loops. And I think I'll leave about that much. And I'll go ahead, wrap it. Although I don't really think anyone would see it. I like to be safe instead of sorry. And I will put a little glue on here. And then I put 3 of these in. So I'm just going to find 3 spots. I think I like that spot. Now, I think that's so cute. This ribbon it's just got a little silver polka dot, if you can see. It's wasn't expensive. I think I got it on sale. I got this for $3.50, and it is 10 yards. You really can't beat that. I got it at Trees and Trends. I'm not sure if you all have Trees and Trends, but they do have an online. They sell online, so you can always go to Trees. It's TREES NTRENDS. I was trying to think which word came first. Trees and Trends. And they have some videos. It seems like their videos are a little old, though. I haven't seen any new ones lately. I put a little glue right there. I wrap. I'm going to put a little more glue. And wrap some more. This is not... I don't think I'll get a patent on that method. It's very haphazard, I'm sorry to say. And I did want to put a little bit of this tape. Cut it off at an angle, just like any flower stem. And you may or may not want to put the ribbon, but I am a ribbon fiend. I love ribbon. And I think I'll put one right here, sort of between these 2 pink flowers to sort of separate them a little bit. And I just love this half circle. I mean, you get a lot of mileage out of this. Now, if it were flat instead of a circle, it would work, but like I said, you would have to, when you use it's already rounded, when you use that, you already have your round shape. If you use the flat, you'll have to make some of your stems longer than the others if you want to make a rounded shape. Okay, so here we go. I put the glue. I get the pick, put it right there. Start wrapping. Whoopsie. Okay, it goes that way. Just any way I can get it to go. Put a little more glue. Wrap this wire around. And next I'll put my tape around. In case anyone were to see at the bottom, but they don't. You can see how full this is. Really, you're not going to see much. You're going to see the stem. Okay, for my third one, I think I'll just put it right here. Gotta find some white looking styrofoam here. You know, and I could have staggered my bows a little more. I could have put down and up and all that, but I didn't. So I just fluff my little loops. Okay, what else do I have? Oh, I didn't mention that this container is about 7¼ inches tall. Then when I add on this, it's another 4¼ Now, right here is where you might want to tie ribbon. You don't have to, because you're going to glue it down with the E6000. But you could do something else. You might want to just leave it like that. And what I did with one of mine is instead of putting the pearls inside, I put them outside, let them hang down. I put little knots in it, and that was really cute. And then look, the pink pearls, wouldn't they have been cute also? You can even just run these around like this to add a little something. If you like that, you could do something like that and just have some pearls draped around. You could even go ahead and use the pink, even though you used the white in the bottom. Now they have pure white pearls, and they have like an off-white. And to tell you the truth, I used the off-white in here because I used all my white on the other one. But it's very inexpensive. But can you see, like if you wanted to go more rustic, you might use the burlap with the lace for your loops. There are just so many things you can do. So many. These were 2 for $1. And the cool thing about them is they have a clip on the back. See, and you just clip it on. Now, I don't like that. I would want to paint that black. So let me use this one. That one, I guess because they're so expensive, it had a little bit of white on there. I'll just take a black marker and fix that. So let's just use this. You might even need to glue it a little bit, because like I said, these are really expensive. And sometimes, you know, you'll find maybe nicer butterflies at Hobby Lobby or somewhere like that. So he sort of came loose, but all right, let's say he's okay. Here's my little clip. Where would be a good place? I think I'll put him or her right. Oops. Nope, not there. Let me try this. I mean, you can just put it wherever you might not. I don't know. I think a white one would be prettier. I've got a white one here. Let's see. I have just thrown this one around so much, and it's still holding up. Okay, let's try white. Let's see, where would this be pretty? I like that. See that? But you can put it anywhere because it just clips on. But I like it like that. So, let's make sure we have everything done. We've got our ribbon in, we've got our greenery. I have more of this. I could put some coming down like that. I'll just do that just to show you. what you would do is just come up here somewhere, find a place and angle it upward as you put the stem in the styrofoam. So then you have it down here. See how that hangs down? Then I would probably want to put one on the other side to mirror it. Right there. Right here. Let's see. Right here. And I want to angle it up, like I said. Cute, cute, cute. And you could put more. You could even, we have extra eucalyptus you could hang down. You know, whatever you want to do. If you want to add more flowers at this price, you could afford to do that. And again, like I said, you might want to even take the bling. They sell this at the Dollar General also on spools, I believe. But this whole sheet was only $1, and you could cut off. You could go over and cut 3 all the way up and have little stripes going around. There's just so much, I don't even know what all I can tell you. I did have a couple of roses, pink ones left, but you know, I think it looks pretty full. You could still stick one up here if you wanted to. That'd be cute. Make it a little taller looking. And there's a spot here that could stand another one. I put that one in. I stuck that up there. You could just, I'm just amazed. And let me measure. Okay, I have the tape measure right here. Here it is. From very top all the way to the bottom, it runs about 22 inches. From side to side, it's going to run around 14 or 15 inches. So, there it is. I'll have some better pictures of it on the tutorial page. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope we all learned something together. I always learn something when I do one of these. Like, glue your roses on. Not always, but sometimes it doesn't hurt. I'll glue that on. But that's another thing, you know, a lot of these, I told you about gluing some of the flowers, but you might want to sit down with your roses and glue them too. That's just whatever you want to do. Well, I will say goodbye for now, and happy wedding! Let me know what you think, and subscribe, comment, thumbs up if you don't like it. I don't know what I might do. No, just kidding. If you don't like it, tell me thumbs down. Be honest. Okay, if you would like to give your flower arrangement a more finished look on the very bottom, it is not really necessary, but some people just want to do that. People would have to get down and look up there to see the bottom of the styrofoam, but for instance, this arrangement, you can see the little gutter that I made, and that circle is what we're going to cover. So just cut out a piece of felt or whatever material you like, the size of that, get some hot glue, glue it on. Now be sure that you get it just on the circle and not in the gutter. Then you will want to get your E6000 Now the reason we want to do that instead of the hot glue is because we're using glass. We're adhering to glass. And when you adhere to glass, you really need the E6000. So you want to put your E6000 all around the very top edge of the container. Then you're ready to, and my little circle fell off, but it's okay. Place that on. Let it, the best curing time would be 24 hours, but you could still use it probably if you let it cure for a couple of hours. But the best is if you have 24 hours, do that. Now, another thing. In this one, I have the beads already connected to the styrofoam, so that would not be very easy at this point to put our circle on. So I just don't put one on. If you want to, you could put it on and put your beads on with the floral pins right, over the felt. So if you're just really stuck on finishing it completely, having a finished look that no one will ever see, you can do that. Okay, next thing. You can buy any kind of vase or cup, whatever you want to use if you want to make your arrangement a little higher. I'll take this one for example. I think these two have the very same vase. That one is a little smaller because that's the one we made for $15. This one is a little larger because it would, I have probably $30 to $31, $32 in that one because all the flowers didn't all come from the Dollar Tree. Now again, we're using glass, so we want to cover the bottom of this base with our E6000. Place our arrangement on top. Let it cure. Again, 24 hours would be an excellent amount of time if you have that much time. And something in this, you don't have to do anything there. You could put rocks, pebbles, shells. You could even do the beads here if you want to. You can do the beads outside if you want to. I'll show you one. I think you've already seen it. But now another thing, this was just $1 at the Dollar Tree. You can cut off what you need. You probably wouldn't want this entire amount. And put it around. Although that is really pretty with that much on it. As long as I would say there's a little indentation right there. I'd come down below that. This is straight, so you could get by with, say, this much, about half. You could get by with half and cover this section. Be very pretty. At $1, if you like it, the entire sheet of bling, it wouldn't cost you that much. So then you want to let that cure. Do whatever else you'd like. This is the one we did in the video. I've got the beads hanging down. Some are longer than others. If you want to make everyone the same, before you glue, just lift that off and adjust those by cutting off a few beads. And this arrangement, I got the vase at Walmart, and it cost $3.97. So that was a little higher. Some of the flowers came from, like this came from Trees and Trends, and I have some beads, and different flowers came from Trees and Trends or another hobby store. But if you will notice, I have the beads. I have put the beads on the outer ring out here, not where the foam goes into the vase, but I tied love knots. You wouldn't have to do that. You don't have to do any of this. It would still be pretty. Again, you might want to fill it with something. You might want to leave it as it is. I think this pretty vase with these beads on the outside, I think that looks nice. You do see one stem going down, and I am going to cut that off. I had thought about putting several stems in there and maybe even some fresh flowers to mix in. Some people do that. I had thought about doing that and then put water in it, but I decided against it, so I'll be cutting that off. So that's all I have on the construction of the wedding centerpieces or whatever event you're having. Bye till next time.